If I had to spend my hard-earned money on just one motorcycle, one that I'll be happy with for a while, there's a good chance I would have bought the Triumph Street Triple. Intuitive, involving, and incredible fun. Great on the road, a blast on the track. And I'm still talking about the new powered variant, which always made me wonder what it would be like to actually ride the full spec Street Triple. And also, why on earth is the Indian spec Street Triple so darn expensive? Luckily, I no longer have to ponder because Triumph has an answer. Enter the Street Triple S. More powerful than the old full spec variant, this is the lightest Street Triple till date, and it comes loaded with electronics, all for just a 60,000 rupee bump in its price tag. Sounds a little too good to be true, doesn't it? Like the old Street Triple when it was first launched? Well, don't worry, because we have you covered. For first things first, we are about to set the record straight. 98.5 horses to the rear wheel should amount to about 114 horses at the crank, which sounds about right considering this is running an Aero exhaust and an Aero map, which explains the 4 horsepower gain over the stock 110 horsepower Street Triple S. The numbers are solid. The S is the real deal. Now to figure what these numbers mean in the real world.
The numbers mean fun! Mad fun! The old Street Triple was a little too civilized for me because of its taller sprocket setup. But this one goes back to its Hooligan roots. Higher capacity, more power, more torque. And when you add a shorter first and second gear to the mix, you're just instigating the riot. And adding fuel to the fire literally is the brilliant fueling. I was worried the Triumph might botch it up with the ride-by-wire throttle, but they have absolutely nailed this. The throttle is perfectly weighted and so smooth.
Break the silence, crashing down like endless violence. It's critical, we're in before the aftermath and out before the world begins to collapse.
Not only is the Street Triple more powerful, it is also the lightest middleweight on sale. And a big chunk of that weight saving actually comes from the new Euro 4 can. Yeah, go figure. And not just that, it's louder as well. Which brings us to the next aspect which made the old Street Triple such a fantastic bike, which is handling. Also the reason why Triumph hasn't fiddled around with the formula too much. For example, you have the same strong braking unit from the old Street Triple and the same sticky ROSSO CORSA tires from Pirelli. But what has changed has actually made a big difference in terms of handling. For example, now you have Showa's separate function forks, which not only has improved the dampening, it also cancels out all the noise, which only transmits the information which you require to go that much faster. Then you have the new geometry inspired from the Speed Triple, which is nose down and tail up, which also means that the seat height now is about 10 mm higher, which means you have better front end feel. But at the same time, you have less pressure on your wrist because even the rake has been increased. The new gull arm swing arm now sits about 4 mm higher, which means that you not only have the same wheelbase and the same agility that the Street Triple was renowned for, but now it also hooks in the corners much better as you fire out of them. And it is more user-friendly as well, because now you have at your disposal 2 riding modes, rain and road, and also traction control. Also, you have this windscreen which offers much better wind protection when you're on the highway. Also, the headlights, they are LED, they are brighter and offer much better visibility in the night. And also from the heat management front, I think this is definitely an improvement because it doesn't heat up as much. And that's down to improved fueling and the fact that this one actually runs a slightly lower compression ratio as compared to the old bike. So is one of the best middleweight nakeds on sale in India better than ever? Yes and no, because it's still not perfect. I'm not sure if it's just this particular bike, but it took surprisingly more effort to get it to downshift. And from second to the first gear, I hit false neutrals many a times, which is quite uncharacteristic. I'm not really sure what went on there. And then you have the ground clearance, because at 130 mm, you have these beautiful pipes and this fairing. You're exposing them to all sorts of assault from our tall speed breakers and deep potholes. Also, the split seats, they look really nice, but they're not as comfortable for the pillion. And if you're someone like me who obviously wants to take the Street Triple to the racetrack and exploit its full potential, well, there are a couple of problems. First being that this new instrument cluster, which has been borrowed from the Speed Triple, on the S, you do not get a lap timer. Nor can you switch off the ABS, which you could on the old model. Also, with the traction control, it's not independent from the rider modes, so you can't tweak them around as much. The best you can do is basically switch off the traction control. And then, to make matters worse, Kawasaki has just launched the more powerful and the fully loaded Z900, which only costs about 50,000 rupees more than this bike right here. And there's also rumors going on that Kawasaki will launch another variant of the Z900 without any of the accessories, which will also cost a little bit less as compared to the Street Triple. So then the question is, which among these two is actually a better motorcycle? The Z900 boasts of an extra cylinder, higher cubic capacity, more power and torque than the Street Triple, but it's also a good 18 kgs heavier. So the Street Triple in fact has marginally better power to weight ratio, but the Z900 definitely has more grunt lowdown because of its higher torque output, which also kicks in earlier. In its souped up iteration, the Z offers crash protection, adjustable front suspension and slipper clutch as standard, which the Street Triple doesn't get. But the Z then misses out on the electronics that the Street Triple offers. And while both the bikes have the same ground clearance, the Z900 has a shorter seat height, making it easier for riders of all shapes and sizes to get their feet firmly on the ground. But the higher spec suspension of the Street Triple offers slightly better ride quality. And in terms of refinement, both are smooth until 7000 RPM, after which you notice buzz creeping in as the revs climb. Both are great at managing heat as well, but neither are the best looking from a pure aesthetic point of view. But if I had to choose, I think I'll still go with the Street Triple, because I think as a motorcycle, it's a little bit better, because if you look at the braking, right, it has stronger braking performance because it's both lighter and has a better braking setup. Also, it's a lot more agile, a lot sharper because it is again lighter and has a shorter wheelbase as compared to the Z900. Also, because of the ROSSO CORSA tires, you feel a lot more confident in corners because you have better grip, you have better feedback, which allows you to truly exploit the full potential of this motorcycle. And also in terms of fueling, it's not only better, it's I think one of the best I've experienced, which has also helped the Street Triple retain one of its best qualities, if you ask me, which is anyone can sit on this bike and go fast, confidently and safely. I mean, even after making more power than ever, being lighter than ever, the Street Triple is still such an easy motorcycle to ride. The way it delivers the power, it's very forgiving, at the same time so engaging, right? So yeah, it's most definitely going to lose out to the Z900 when it comes to the price battle. But I think as a motorcycle, it now definitely has all the ingredients, not just take the fight to the Z900, but Also to win over your mind and your soul.
The sound we make when we collide. We're coming down right now. It's do or die. And when it all starts crumbling down, watch it burning itself to the ground. And I can't deny this feeling inside. If this is what the world deserves, then just step back and let it burn. This is the sound.